discipline in our time together. The goal of conscious discipline is permanent behavior change in adults and children. It's based on brain research so that we can start distancing ourselves from the guilt we feel about our behavior. It's almost like looking under the hood of the car, and we can see that certain behaviors are related to certain brain states. And once we can loosen that guilt about something we think we should have done or need to do, then we also release that need to punish. And once we release the need to punish, we're ready to look for alternative ways of interacting with children, and we get to choose where we want to focus our attention and how we want to focus their development. Today we're going to talk about the power of attention. It states what you focus on, you get more of. Okay, so now look at this next slide. Here it comes. I want you to look. It'll happen brief, but just look at this next slide. Okay, what did you notice? What did you see in that slide? Did you see a child pushing another child that seemed clearly oblivious to the fact he's being pushed? Or did you see two kids who needed new skills? Okay, watch this next slide. What did you see there? Did you see a wounded infant or a helpful firefighter? The power of attention is the ability to consciously focus our attention on what we choose to attend to. Now, that's not as easy as it sounds. It's almost like if we had on one of these great little miner's lights, and we get to direct it. So wherever I turn my head, I get to focus it. I'm in charge. But this isn't as easy as you think. Let's take Sunday. Sunday, I'm going to the kitchen to get some green tea. So I'm heading to the kitchen to get some green tea. As I'm walking to the kitchen, I go, whew, and I look over here, and on the coffee table is a book. I thought, oh my gosh, I think I just want to glance through that. So I walk over to the coffee table. As I'm looking down to read the book, I see the dust. So as I see the dust, I go, gosh almighty, how did this house get so dirty? And next thing you know, I'm in the kitchen trying to get a dust rag, but when I'm in the kitchen getting the dust rag, voila, I've got green tea. So if you imagine what that looked like, it looked like this. But the downside of it looking like that wasn't the fact that I was distracting. The downside was that what was aiming my headlight was not me. I'm walking, and next thing you know, some stimulus out there, a book, goes, whoa, over here. Green tea, over here. Dust, over here. So outside stimuli was running my headlight, not me. Now, that's how babies start. That's how infants start. That's how preschoolers start. But you would think by the age 59, I'd have a better grip on the game. So the goal of development is to shift so that we're not pulled to this. Oh, I want this. And this, of course, is what commercials want us to do. I gotta have this, I gotta have this, I gotta have this, I gotta have this. The goal is to maintain and develop this ability so that I have my headlight and I, Becky Bailey, choose where I put my attention. Now, if any of us do get a hold of managing our attention and focusing on, we often focus on what we don't want. So, you'll hear all the time, stop hitting your sister. Oh my God, I'm so fat. Don't talk to me in that tone of voice. Or, look at that woman. Look at, she's texting in the car. She's going to kill us all. She's going to kill us. I know she is. So we're really good at aiming our headlight at what we don't want to happen. Remember, the power of attention says what you focus on, you get more of. So, in the situations I just went through, if you go, stop hitting your sister, well, you're going to get more hitting. If I say, stop talking to me in that tone of voice, you're going to get more sass and mouth. If I say, stop, look at these people, they're going to kill us all, then I get more negativity. Now here's the downside. The more I focus on what I don't want, what I think I'm lacking, there's not enough money, I'll never pay off this debt, oh my gosh, the more I focus on lack, the more I focus on people not doing it right, the more I focus on what children do wrong, the more lack, wrong, and not enoughness I experience. I experience. Also, something we generally don't think about is that what I focus on, where I choose to put my light or allow my headlight to be jerked to, is what I value. So if you say, do you value hurting? Then keep saying, stop hitting your sister. Do you value learning? Then you might want to say, when you want your sister to move, say, move, please. And therefore, I'm teaching a new skill, focusing on what I want that child to learn. Now, there are two types of people. There are givers and takers. And most of us know a lot of takers and a lot of givers. But if you think about it, to be a true giver in life, that means you must live in life knowing there's enough. So we have to feel good enough inside. How do we do that if we focus on what's not good enough? We can't. If we focus on what's not good enough, we experience not good enoughness. And then we try to pretend we're being a giver when we're really a taker. So it turns out with us having little hidden agendas. You know, I just wanted to tell you all those wonderful things you do wrong because I really wanted to be helpful so that you could improve as a person. Now, when is anybody telling you how rotten you are made you inspire to be something greater? So we often then hide our getting by giving. I was in, this year I had the opportunity to go to Tanzania, Africa, and went to a school, and the kids were learning English, and they're like 12 years old, learning their third language. And up on the board was a multiple choice question that you'll see on the slide that you're watching right now, and it said, he eats a lot of food every day. He is A, kind, B, mean, C, generous, D, greedy. And of course the answer is greedy. So I think maybe we're more takers than we'd ever imagine on some level. The brain's day job is not learning, it's safety. The deep structures of the brain are constantly scanning the environment, looking for threat, constantly looking for threat. So these deep structures, our instinct is to focus on what's wrong, to focus on what might be a threat. So we have to do something. We have to learn a skill set. We have to be able to develop within ourselves and within children this power of attention so that we can, this part of our brain, this prefrontal lobe, can override the impulses of this lower centers of our brain to look and go, oh my gosh, a bear, oh my gosh, they're going to stab me in the back, oh my gosh, they're talking about me. I've got to override that impulse. So what do we need to do that? We're going to need two skills, and I'm going to talk about those now. But first I want you to see the summary. So let's go back and recap now. The power of attention. What you focus on, you get more of. Next, I want you to hear this. So everyone breathe with me. When you're upset, you're always focused on what you don't want. And we become upset because we resist what is. Okay, so holding that frame in mind, let's go to the first skill called pivoting. So pivoting says, I catch myself going, oh man, what are these kids doing? Look at that, stop hitting your sister, stop hit, I said stop. So I catch myself, I hear it. I need to pivot, I literally need to turn around and focus on what I want instead of what I don't want. Kind of like a military term, you know, oh, pivot, like this. Okay, so we're gonna pivot. How do we do that? We become conscious of it, we take a deep breath, we calm ourselves down, and we focus on what we want to happen consciously. So instead of stop yelling, it becomes match your voice to mine. Talk just like this. Instead of don't run, becomes walk. Watch me. Do it just like I'm doing. Here I go. And what are you doing becomes, hey, what are you doing? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to watch these next slides, because this is critical to understand. It's not just that we're helping children develop their ability to focus their own light, so to speak, to choose what they want to see in life, to choose to be good enough instead of not good enough. We're doing way more than that, because what we're doing when we help children learn this skill, we need to make pictures for them. We need to make pictures with our words. Pick up the toys just like this, walk over here and put them in the bin. In this bin, I'm not bend, well we can bend or bin. Put it in the bin so we know where it is. Now, so we want to make pictures. Now what do these pictures do, or these images that we create for children? They're used by children to govern their behavior. They teach them how to treat others. They don't go around going, "Stop pushing me." They go, "Walk around me, please." And they show them how to assertively move through life in a problem-solving mode, because you can't solve a problem by focusing on what you don't want. Okay, so watch these slides. Here you'll see it. So the first one is stop yelling. The other one is match your voice to mine. I'm making pictures in your head that will govern you the rest of your life. The next slide, don't run. Now when you hear that, don't run, the image in your head is like, here I go. But if you see, walk, watch me, I'm making this image of how you govern yourself. The next one, look at these. What are you doing? As opposed to, what are you doing? So you'll see by the slides, it makes images in your head. Images in your head. First skill is pivoting. The second one is noticing. We cannot change anything without conscious awareness. Now it's estimated that we have 77,000 thoughts a day, 80% of them being negative. And when you ask anybody, hey, so what are you thinking? They go, nothing. So obviously we're not aware of what's going on inside the most powerful tool we have, which is called focus and attention and creation. So what are you thinking? Nothing. So what I want to show you is we've got to start noticing our thoughts. So I'm going to do a little experiment here. So here comes a thought. So here's a trusty Kleenex. Whoops. And here comes a thought like, let's see if we can run over that woman pushing her grocery cart. And that sounds silly, but all of us have had this thing like, oh, 2 points for her. Okay, so here comes the thought. And the idea is to notice it and let it just go by, like a Kleenex, like a cloud, just float on by. And you can start seeing things. The other day I saw a thought when I was resting. I thought, oh my gosh, I heard myself thinking things have to be hard for me to be successful. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was carrying that around. But now I do. I can let go. So they pass on by. But that's not what we tend to do. What we tend to do is we become our thoughts. We don't notice them, we become them. So here comes a thought. Boy, am I fat? Instead of watching that thought and going, oh my gosh, I need to pivot and go, geez, Becky, you need to eat more fruits and vegetables. I love fruits and vegetables. Let's go get the fruits and vegetables. Instead of doing all that, here comes the thought and I become the thought. So I'm stuck with these thoughts. And here comes the next thought behind it. You'll never lose weight. And here it comes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. Now, as you can see, when we become our thoughts, it's relatively unattractive. So we want to let these go and float by. Notice our thoughts, or noticing anything, is rooted in consciousness or mindfulness research. And this research really came out of many different fields, but it really came out of working with people with OCD. So as you watch the slide here, we have found that if you can consciously focus your attention on something, it literally changes the physical structure of your brain, altering your brain function and its structure. Now, so you'll see on here what a healthy control brain, and this shows you what areas are stimulated. And you look at OCD and there's not much stimulation there. So to relieve that anxiety, they do compulsive behaviors. But the point I want you to know is, if you look at this next slide, we know this already. Wherever we put our conscious attention creates a brain state. And then our brain state creates a physiology, and that physiology determines our well-being. We know this, so let me just show you a couple quick slides and you'll see. Check this one out. Boom. That's adrenaline, and I'm sure you're feeling it. Check this out. Ooh, opiates. How fun. So one gives us a natural internal opiate, it's just like we just got a hit of morphine. The other one just gives us a hit of adrenaline, which just kind of sucks the life force out of us. So all I did was change your attention for you. But what if we could consciously focus that? What we focus on, we get more of. So we're going to start noticing our thoughts first, not becoming them. Then we're going to start noticing the actions of children. You picked up the toys and put them on the shelf. We're going to say that. You picked them up and put them on the shelf so that children become conscious of what they're doing. They know where their attention is being put. But we often say, oh, good job, good boy, thank you. So with little babies, they go, you go, oh, you want it down. There you go. So we just notice for them where they want their attention instead of just placing the child on the floor and just keep it on talking on the cell phone. We also start noticing emotions. So as a child gets upset, we go, oh, your face is going like this. You seem sad or you seem angry. And we start noticing or helping children pivot. So if a child comes in and goes, oh no, meatloaf again, I hate meatloaf. All you gotta do is help them pivot. You wanted to have something different tonight. Flip it for them. Show them they have the power to direct this at any given time. Most of us didn't get that opportunity. So instead of saying, you will eat what I cook and like it, you could say, you were hoping we'd get something different tonight for dinner. Flip it for them. Show them the power of attention. Consciousness allows us to have choice and control over deep brain structures. It allows us to become all that we can be. It allows us to know better and do better instead of just knowing and not being able to do. So, what have we gone through today? Let's sum it all up. Let's go back to our summary. What you focus on, you get more of. When you're upset, you're always focused on what you don't want. And most people don't believe that, so just take a moment. Think of the last time you got irritated, the last time you were upset. And I'm not talking about a raving lunatic. I'm talking about just mild irritation, non-peaceful. I will guarantee you were focused on something you wanted to stop, not happen, shouldn't have happened. And you're upset because you're resisting what is. It shouldn't be like this. That shouldn't have happened. This shouldn't be going on. We shouldn't have economic problems. The housing problem shouldn't have lasted this long. Nothing should be like it is. And of course, when we focus on that, we value criticism as opposed to problem solving. Also, when you focus on what you don't want, you can never solve the real problem. The bottom line, the power of attention is a huge source and power we have yet to tap completely. Focus on the positive action you want to see in children. If they push, you wanted him to move. Walk around. Walk around. Say walk around. When they push you, forget all that. Bottom line, focus on the positive action you want to see. Pivot if necessary. So doing, you will shift automatically from staying stuck in problems to shifting to solutions. You will also always be encouraging. Always be encouraging because you're focused on what you want them to do. As they take one step that direction, you can go, look at you, you're doing it. Guaranteed to be successful. And you will always be successful creating a world, creating a life, and creating a vision for children for a wonderful life as we become all we can be. So until next time, I wish you well.